can go back to Niccolo Machiavelli, The Prince, written in 1513, published in 1532. There's a chapter in that book about principalities that were acquired through wickedness. And it has a passage dealing with when evils must be done to your subjects. There's a right way to do it, and there's a wrong way to do it.
So what's the right way?
The right way to do it is, it says in the book, to do it all in one stroke, to do it all at once, all at the same time, and severe. The wrong way to do it was to stage multiple attacks, maybe each one being more destructive and deadly than the attack before it. That was the wrong way to do it. So think about 9/11 now. Does it make sense? Should it make sense to any reasonable person that there was this Al-Qaeda terrorist network operating, all of these sleeper cells roaming around the country, but all they could do was 9/11. They couldn't do anything else but 9/11. And then they just dropped off the map.
Yeah, isn't that something? Yeah.
Oh, no,
and the passports. And the passports.
Yeah.
The passports that just floated down.
Isn't that amazing?
And the so-called confession video.
Well, isn't that amazing that the passports landed on Duane Street? I mean...
Yeah.
And they found his luggage. The luggage had flight manuals and a copy of the Quran. And, all that stuff was intact.
I know. Anybody who believes that.
Right.
But he's admitted to everything.
Oh, you know what they said on the History Channel just a couple of weeks ago? We had done another 9/11 show about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It just happened by coincidence. The History Channel was doing a 9/11 story. And you remember how the cops, not the cops, the firemen robbed the clothing store, and they stole these jeans and everything.
A lot of gold was missing too.
Well, but I got to tell you about the clothes. So on the History Channel, there's a what do you call it? Not a researcher, a scientist. A scientist. He gave the explanation how all of those clothes ended up in the fire truck, neatly folded, no less. The explosion had them lift and then land in the fire truck.
Well, that's the most believable
that
part.
was on the freaking History Channel.
That's the most believable part of the official explanation,
did he?
Yes.
Because that's sort of a taboo word.
Oh, that's right.
200 fire department officials had said there were explosions in the tower. I want to give you another number, Dean, to put up. It's the New York 9/11 Truth Hotline for activities and events if you want to get truth and get DVDs and learn what's going on. At 212-714-7147. Again, 212-714-7147 is 9/11 Truth Hotline. We're at Ground Zero every Saturday from about noon to 4 with a big banner saying it was an inside job. And starting in April, we're going to have on Sundays on St. Mark's Place, as usual, on Sundays about 6:30, truth and videos and stuff. Ralph Shulman is coming to speak in person. And it's great to get to the St. Mark's Church at 10th Street and 2nd Avenue Sunday evenings around 6:30 and get books, DVDs. And this 9/11 Truth Movement is growing virally. It's all over. Every state has a 9/11 Truth Movement because, you know, I used to be a concrete inspector, but you don't have to be an expert in demolitions or construction to know that concrete melts. I mean, concrete turns to lava.
Yes.
Steel melts. It doesn't turn to dust suddenly. I mean, also, bam.
I know.
A big pile of dust.
It does go to dust if there, in fact, isn't enough concrete mixed in it, and it's mostly sand and gravel.
Well, whatever. It just exploded into dust, and all of a sudden, there were two tallest buildings in the world disappeared into a pile of rubble. That's if a fire. Just ask any insurance agent. Fire does not bring down a skyscraper. All the history of skyscrapers and burning and firefighting proves that, well, the skeleton is standing and the fire burned down a few floors.
Now, Henry David Thoreau once said, or once wrote, that there are 1,000 striking at the branches for every one who is striking at the root. And this is my problem. When I've attended meetings at Answer Coalition and United for Peace and Justice, and I've gotten up and spoken about the obvious falsities of the official explanation of 9/11, and I was almost driven out of the meetings at those organizations. And the same is true of the Center for Constitutional Rights. I attended a meeting where they were voicing their opposition to the Patriot Act. I said, well, the Patriot Act is the symptom, but 9/11 is the disease. So the Patriot Act are the branches, right? And the war in Iraq and Afghanistan are the branches. The root of that, the root of both things is 9/11. So for every the 1,000 who are striking at the branches, for every one who is striking at the root, I say we've got to strike at the root. And we've got to not be reluctant to address and vigorously the debate about the falsity of the official explanation.
Plus the fact that it's written in this book that's what, 15 years old.
Right. Well,
that this was going to happen.
You and me and a lot of people are intelligent, critical thinkers. Know from the get-go this is a false flag operation and a black ops in-house double deal. Like the Gulf of Tonkin was a false. All these wars are, the pseudo causus bellis to go to war, but. People don't want to admit that my dad's a pedophile or my mom's a prostitute. It's like heavy therapy. People live in denial that their husband's a wife beater. It's like, oh, no, I have a problem, but no, we can't. It's hard for America in general and human beings to say, gee whiz, my government is a mass murdering sociopath.
Can you imagine?
I can't believe it.
My president is a war criminal.
I just want us to believe and pray that Cheney and Bush be taken out of the White House in handcuffs. These are criminals that need to be relieved of their command.
Actually, I'm calling for all of them to commit suicide. No, that's not commit suicide and save the people of this country the trouble and expense of hanging you, of arresting you and trying you and hanging you. Because there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk about. Well, I want them to kill themselves. I want them to do the right thing, do the only ethical thing, and kill yourself.
When I was in the Village Voice, you notice I was wearing an American flag sweater. Yeah. And my point is, I love my country.
Right.
It's the government I'm afraid of.
Right. Well, we're patriots, but to criticize is patriotic. In a dictatorship, you can't
We didn't elect Bush. We didn't elect these people.
No.
Gore
won the popular vote.
And if everybody
but
knew
he's intimidated. He couldn't stand up for his rights. Did you see the Fahrenheit 9/11 movie where he brings down the gavel and participates in his own lynching?
It might seem a little harsh when I speak about people killing themselves, but
that didn't seem harsh to me.
I look at it as though it's the lesser of two evils, because for me, I know that it would be much more difficult to live out a prolonged existence, knowing that I participated and made to happen one of the greatest crimes against humanity.
That's mandatory now.
And he said that they're going to, but he said, what's next? It's going to be us.
Right.
They will be able to put a scan through us and be able to know all the information. We're going to be under complete and total control by our government.
Unfortunately, what they're going to do probably is put out a pseudo scare, a bioterror alert, and then everyone has to get vaccinated. And then watch out for your vaccine, folks. And they have these microchips, these little things that will be planted, and then they'll. Yeah, watch the movie The Manchurian Candidate. They made a great remake of it, and there's a lot of these mind-controlled assassins aren't even aware that they're hypnotized. But that's a power game. That's what they like. Everyone gets to play out their game. This is the planet of freedom. So there's a paradigm shift. The planet is waking up. There's higher consciousness. Technology has exploded, and the truth will prevail. The lies will fail. Bush and Cheney are out of here. These people and the whole neocon agenda, even though they're very threatening, they're just playing out their fantasies. They're not going to bring this to fruition.
Probably not. I mean, they're certainly at bay as it is, because the year that they brought the towers down was supposed to be the year that they were going to create martial law, or kick our doors in as they please.
Well, they did in the Pakistani neighborhood in Brooklyn, and there are people being tortured, and the president does advocate torture. And many immigrants are unfairly incarcerated, like yourself and a lot of people are just taken up, and they've taken away the writ of habeas corpus, and they advocate torture, and they believe it's on the law books now. This isn't the America that we all believed in, the land of immigrants. Land of immigrants. Now immigrants are called criminals. What the hell is that?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're the backbone of our nation, and the most intelligent and industrious people. They're not criminals. Criminals steal and rape you.
We all came from another country.
Right.
I mean, the Indians were here, so we're all immigrants, in a sense. So what else do you want to say about 9/11?
I'd like to put out a call to everyone who's involved in the military. If you have joined the military, refuse to deploy to Iraq, refuse to participate in this war crime going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, desert, go AWOL, do whatever you have to do. Do not participate.
Yeah, it's better to spend 6 years in jail than maybe not come back at all dead, or kill people who are innocent, or come back maimed, or missing an eye or an arm, or with depleted